with everything happening here, we still advise that, Lagos is still a sweet spot for real estate investment, or should we start looking somewhere else?
Like somebody reached out to me and said he wants to do real estate. He has 1 billion naira. How should he do it? So I had a client. She's in the US. She's not even in Nigeria, right? She wants to invest in Lagos.
Okay.
What is she seeing in Lagos?
Yeah.
What are other people seeing in Lagos that we Nigerians are not seeing?
Yeah. Hello, and how you doing? It's another exciting episode of the Doctor's Lab. Once again, thank you for your support. If you've been supporting us and watching on YouTube, sharing our links, we thank you very much. And you know what we do on the Doctor's Lab here is to educate you on real estate, to tell you what you need to do, what you need to know. Arm you with the ample information that you need to help you succeed in your real estate investment. And today is not going to be different. Today, as always, I have a very, very special guest. He's a friend, he's a colleague, they call them learned fellows. And I like listening to him. I watch a lot of his videos, and he does a lot of amazing things online as regarding real estate. And I want you to sit back and relax, and also get your pen and your paper or your notebook, because you are going to be writing down a lot of what you'll be espousing here today on this episode. And so without any further ado and delay, I'd like to welcome our special guest in the person of Barrister Samuel Tiamiyu ESQ. Woo!
Thank you for having me.
Yeah, the first class property lawyer. First class. So when you listen to him, you understand why, he's first class, very sound mind, very detailed, articulate, and he will tell you a lot of things that you need to know. So we came to class today as always, and we'll be learning today. So welcome.
Thank
Good
you
to
so
have
much.
you here.
Yeah.
It's good to have you here. You're a very busy man. I almost wanted to fill a form that time now. How do I get to see you? How do I get to see you?
Anything for you, and of course when it comes to real estate, it's something that I always want to discuss. So
Yeah.
it helps me to help people. When you have opportunity to help people get better, then you should do it. So that's why we are here. So you should watch it to the end.
Yeah, they should watch it to the end. So how was the I know this week was it the NBA conference or something?
Yes, the Nigerian Bar Association conference. So we had our conference this week and discussed a lot of issues, affecting lawyers and of course Nigeria as a whole.
Oh, that's nice.
One of my own take home is about AI and the legal practice.
Oh, there's AI now in law.
Yeah, of course.
Wow. Is it
Artificial
going to take the jobs of lawyers? Like,
yes, that's one of the things. Like, okay, will AI take our jobs? Before I went for that conference, I was having a conversation with a particular client, and it was like, okay, do this agreement for me for a particular man. I was like, no, I can't do it for that. But I was like, but I can actually go to the internet and get this particular agreement. And
oh wow.
I was like, okay, no problem, you can go ahead. So these conversations we've been having meetings with your clients, so your AI too can actually do that, for you. So it was now laughing. So that's the way it is. So AI will only take jobs from lawyers who are not AI compliant.
Oh wow.
But AI cannot do our jobs, right? Because even if you get the agreement, you can't get the seal.
Yeah.
If you get the agreement, the AI cannot come to the meetings, right?
Or would they call the AI to bar?
So that's one thing. So we're also looking at a situation where can we start having lawyers that will represent robots, because robotics law. So yes, because if a robot commits an offense,
yeah,
right, and the robot is perhaps put in the dock, can we have lawyers who can defend the yes? So these are emerging areas, and virtual law practice and all that.
Virtual law practice. Wow, this is nice. This is nice. This is nice. A lot of things.
It's just that the older generations are struggling to keep up with this.
Yeah.
But the younger generations, we are so open to this. My law firm is strictly virtual, right?
Wow.
So I run everything virtual. My clients, my meetings, some meetings physical, but rarely. So it's mostly virtual. So
wow. Awesome. That's good. That's a very good insight on how technology has actually changed the scope of things and how we're thinking in that particular direction. All right, so today we'll be talking about real estate and it's about the dynamic nature of Lagos properties, of course, from a barrister's point of view. So the first question is, with everything happening in Lagos, demolitions, the brouhaha that has been happening, and a lot of people have been scared. And one time, there was a halt in property sales. Yeah, people were scared, and so
Yeah.
people were thinking, oh, do I go to Ibadan? Do I go to Abeokuta? Do I go to other areas? And Lagos became slow for a while now. With everything happening here, we still advise that Lagos is still a sweet spot for real estate investment, or should we start looking somewhere else?
Where are you looking at? So the question is first, what is the place of Lagos in terms of real estate investments, right? So that's the first question you need to ask yourself. So you need to look at statistics. Don't look at emotion, right?
Okay.
Don't look at tribalistic points of view.
Mhm.
Don't look at certain things. And as an investor, always look at the numbers
True.
because that is what brings money to your pocket at the end of the day.
Okay.
So don't think like people who just feel like out of emotion, out of one tribal sentiment, let me do this. No. So when you look at the numbers, first, Lagos is projected to be the largest city in the world, right? That's the projection.
In terms of what now?
Population.
Okay.
And when you hear population as an investor, you should jump up.
Yeah. True.
Yeah, because once you have population outburst in an area, your real estate automatically,
Yeah, because
jumps
people
up
will need
because
houses.
people will need it. There will be more demand, and
Yeah.
when there is more demand, of course, it will appreciate. So
True.
you may have houses that are nobody is asking for it, right? It may not even be good looking, it may not even be habitable, but because it's within a particular area, there are some places on the mainland, right, that even the government wants to demolish, but people are still
People are still
staying there. Why? Because
we know a lot of places like that, but we'll not
yeah,
mention their
we
names.
not mention that. So you have to look at the place of Lagos, not only in Nigeria but in Africa. I've had clients who have. I had a client. She's in the US. She's not even in Nigeria, right? She wants to invest in Lagos.
Okay.
What is she seeing in Lagos?
Yeah.
What are other people seeing in Lagos that we Nigerians are not seeing?
Yeah.
It is the statistics, the numbers,
Yeah.
right? So when you look at that, okay, I bought the property for so amount. If you go to another place, you have to also look at, do they have the same number? Do they have the same projection? Because real estate mostly is about speculation.
Yeah.
That I buy this property today, in 10 years, 15 years, this is what it will be.
Yeah.
Land banking mostly, right?
Yeah.
So if you not look at it, that where are you running to? Where you are running to, will people also run there?
Oh yeah.
So if there's nothing taking people there, then I would say that with all the things that are happening in Lagos, just do the right thing, right? Do what you need to do. Because I would say that the government is also not certain in terms of certain things that have changed, right? But as an investor, try to do what you need to do. Be right. Let it be that it's only the government that is wrong.
Okay.
But some people are also wrong, right? And they'll be thinking that the government should be right.
Yeah.
So the first thing is be right. That means buy the property in the right place in terms of location. Make sure it has a good title, right? If it doesn't have a good title, if it's under acquisition, plan to do what you need to do. Those things. But we are not going anywhere. So what I would now say is that lastly on this point is diversify.
Okay.
Right? So instead of running away, diversify. Put in your money in different parts of Lagos. And you can also put it in other parts of Lagos. But I would say that if you have, like somebody reached out to me and said he wants to do real estate, he has 1 billion naira, how should he do it?
Oh, somebody has reached out to you like that
already?
Yeah. 1 billion.
Yeah.
Put me into that equation. I'm interested in
like,
equations
okay,
like that.
so if you're looking at that, right, for higher property appreciation, it comes from land banking.
It comes from land banking.
So you should put most of it in land banking, right? You can now do others in other places like shortlets and others that can bring you monthly, weekly income and all that. But Of course, where do you see the population that will patronize you, that will
Yeah.
make those things to appreciate? It's still Lagos.
Oh, that's awesome. True, true. That's very awesome. That's very awesome. So we're not running anywhere,
You're not
but
going
doesn't mean that we should
anywhere.
not be open to other places too to actually,
Yes.
invest. So you talked about quickly. We'll just talk about you. You said two things that were very, very empirical. You talked about statistics. You talked about numbers. So how does this affect property appreciation? How does it affect decision making when it comes to real estate investment, especially here in Lagos? How does it drive this market?
Yes, so that is why first there's what we call, let me first of all talk about this. There's what we call bandwagon
Yeah.
in real estate. And
Yeah.
that's why even if you're a developer and you're watching this, this may interest you. When people, especially developers, are running to a particular place,
Mm-hmm.
don't say, "Ah, why is everybody running to the place? I'll go and pitch my tent in another place."
Okay.
You may not sell as fast as you need to.
Because of the bandwagon effect.
Yes, it will not favor you at that point.
True.
If you say, okay, people are running to a particular, I know I can mention places
Yeah.
in Epe that when people run to that place, if you put your product there, you will sell. The
Wow.
reason is because one investor is hearing that name often. So when a realtor comes to him and say, okay, I have a property in this location, you're like, oh, I've been hearing about it. What's happening in that place? Oh, a lot of people. You don't need to say much
Yeah.
because the person is already convinced. So when you now decide that, I know the developer that put after bandwagon has left the place, you now went there. It couldn't sell fast as it
As
should.
far as I could, yeah.
So the same thing for investors too.
Yeah.
When people are going to a particular place, that's why that person said, look at where people are going,
Yeah.
right? Go
And go
there.
there and buy land.
And buy land. So don't wait until everybody is now leaving the place before you go. Go and buy first before they even come to that
Don't
place.
arrive the party late.
Very important. So the fact is, when you look at the numbers, where are people going? There are some other places in Nigeria that people are going,
Yes.
but the rush is not as much as Lagos, because Lagos is attracting both Nigerians in Nigeria, Nigerians in diaspora,
Diaspora.
foreigners.
Foreigners. Yeah.
Of
Foreigners.
course, one foreigner reached out to me, and I was trying to, because let me also say this, this is a bonus. As a foreigner,
Yeah.
you cannot own land in Nigeria. There's a
Okay.
restriction, right? So,
Wow.
but then there are ways to go about this, right?
Oh,
There
okay.
are ways to go. There are exceptions that you can, explore. So, the man reached out to me and said he wants to do an hotel in Nigeria and all that. If foreigners are looking for,
Yeah.
do you know that there are certain companies in Nigeria that their majority stakeholders are real estate companies,
Yeah.
are not Nigerian?
Nigerians.
You understand?
Hmm.
So now, so what do you say to that? And Nigerians don't want to invest, whether in Nigeria. Some people don't even want to invest in Nigeria at all,
Hmm.
right? They don't want to invest in Nigeria, but you should understand that Nigeria is just developing,
Yeah.
right? US, UK, they already have most of the things that will make those properties to appreciate
Oh, those guys are
crazy.
centuries
Permit me
ahead.
to use that word,
Yeah.
right? But Nigeria is just developing. So we have that kind of rapid appreciation that you cannot see somewhere
Elsewhere.
else.
True.
So just look at the numbers. The
Yeah.
fact is Lagos will continue to have that population outburst.
Yeah.
Even if people are leaving, but the ratio to the ratio of people that are coming to Lagos
Yeah.
is so infinitesimal, you can't even see it. So people are coming to do business, people are establishing a lot of things. Industries are coming to Lagos, and when they come, they attract commercial activities. When they attract commercial activities, they attract more people.
True.
And through that, the strategy is just there. Then we can now look at places around Lagos too, right? That are not far from Lagos, because when the city center
Yeah.
blow up,
Blow up.
the
The
suburb will
suburb,
also blow up.
yeah,
The
because it's
suburb will
looking
now
for
blow up to
other
other.
places. It's called a spillover. It's crazy,
So that's
crazy,
just it.
crazy. Awesome, awesome. Wow. That was a very, very detailed analysis of numbers and statistics and how it plays an important role in making real estate decisions here in Lagos, and not just Lagos, any other place, before you go in. So don't arrive the party late.
Very
We
important.
always say it, like, follow the bandwagon effect. Yes, might seem like, oh, I don't really follow the bandwagon effect, but when people are going in a particular direction, it's better you know what is pushing them in that direction,
Yeah,
so
you
you
should
don't
ask
you don't go
questions.
late. All right, so there is this thing now about property ownership, and it has been a bit scary. And I think that it goes back to the Land Use Act, that decree. I don't know why they still call it a decree, because decree is like a military term, you know. I feel like, some things must have been done. So I thought maybe that's what you guys would discuss at the NBA conference and stuff like that. But, you people didn't go there. So one of the things that people say is that, that part that says, all lands are vested in the power of the governor. People think it's a very, 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 very powerful clause that gives a lot of power to the government. So they say, what is now the role of the ancestral owners of that land if everything is vested in the hands of the governor? Okay, and can that law not be looked at, or that decree not be looked at and repealed in such a way that there's a bit of flexibility that allows for ancestral owners to also have some legal access to this land, so that the policies surrounding real estate can be a bit stable?
Okay, so let's start from the law itself. So that law started with a decree.
Yeah.
1970, we're under military regime. So any law passed by a federal legislature during military regimes are called decrees.
Yes.
Excuse me. So now it started with a decree. It was during Olusegun Obasanjo's regime then. Now, but because we have transited to a civilian regime, it is now an act.
Yeah.
So it is Land Use Act, no longer a decree. But it started with a decree, just like so many laws that we still have now. But as soon as you transition to a civilian regime, even though it was a military president that, of course, passed into law, it will now be called an act. So right now we have it as an act. Now, the land user gave a lot of power to the governor of the state.
Yeah.
But that power is limited in the sense that the power is in trust. So the governor is supposed to hold it in trust. So we have to look at what is trust when it comes to law.
That's what I would like to know. So what is trust here in law? Yeah.
When it comes to trust in law, trust means that I have a property and I want to give it to my child that is, let's say, 2 years old. But because of the restriction that a 2-year-old boy cannot own the property, let me give it to you, right? The uncle of that boy, that okay, just hold it for him in trust. It is not for you, but you are the trustee of the property, holding it that okay, when he's now 18, you will give him the property. So he is the beneficiary. All the citizens of Nigeria are beneficiaries of the land.
True.
The governors are holding it in trust. That is how it ought to be. But then
we don't really know what's happening. Is it still in trust?
So that's the question now.
Yeah.
So the question now is, are they handling it the way it ought to be?
Yeah.
In the legal way, the legal intention of that particular law.
Yeah.
That I may not be able to say expressly. Yes.
Yes.
Because you will now discover that there are certain things that are happening that looks like it is no longer in trust. It's almost looking like personal interest.
Yeah,
you understand? So because when you hold it, because the beneficiary, you are looking at the interest of the beneficiary, not your own personal interest. If you are holding something in trust. So, and the reason why the foundation of that law actually is to demonopolize the issue of land use from the ancestral owners, because the ancestral owners too were holding on to the land.
Yeah.
Like
they were oligarchs in their own name.
So if the government needed land, let's say for Red Line, or for Blue Railway, or for Coastal Road, or for many things, it will be very hard to get this land. Why? Because the land belongs to our community. We can't give it to you.
Oh wow.
They want to use it for, let's say, state hospital or state secretariat or anything. Government needs land for a lot of public projects also, right? So if they cannot have easy access to it, there's a problem. So they took it. So you people come back.
They took it plus the trust now. Oh my God, man.
They took everything and said, okay, if you need this land, come and meet us. So families will now go back to the government and say, okay, this land you say is under acquisition. So we now have land that are free. We now have a larger portion under acquisition.
Yes.
Right? So the family will now come to the government and say, see, we need this land, right? Give us this land. This is our community land. At least if taking this larger portion, just give us part of it.
It's
So that's
crazy.
what we now call excision.
Yeah.
They do not excise part of it
Part
to
of
them.
it.
And
Yeah.
say, okay, take this 20 acres, take this 50 acres. You
Yeah.
understand? Take this 100 acres to families, right? That's what you now call village excision. So each village can now have that,
Yeah.
so that it will be free for them. They can now proceed to go and do, you know, C of O.
Yeah.
But if you look at it, actually, it's on both sides. The communities themselves too, they started the whole thing. And when government eventually got it, the government too decided to now, be playing pranks with the use of land, because normally what should be happening is such that anything government is doing with the land should be for public interest.
Yes.
Right?
Yes.
For public interest.
True.
And I will say this, yes, it may not look palatable to some developers.
Oh, come on.
I feel like
that's why the doctors
I
laugh.
feel like if government is going to take the land, right, from the people, let's say the land is under acquisition, right, and government is saying, okay, you people have bought this place, and they sell it, they give government allocation to another developer, right? I feel that is not in trust.
Yeah, that's not trust.
That is not in public interest, except the government can come out to say, okay, this is actually in the interest of the public.
How?
Do you understand?
We need a lot of lawyers to defend that case.
Because if that's why sometimes you see that some people now come up and then go and sue the government, and sometimes they win.
Yeah, they win.
You understand? Because if you are going to take the land, by all means, it must be for the public interest. So if you are taking it for schools, school projects, for hospital projects,
that's public interest.
That's public interest, right? Yeah. But not to take it from people
and give it
to a developer. That will now sell it
for a very expensive. You're not doing a housing scheme
for everybody. Thank you. So a housing scheme. So that is the point there, right? So I hope that answers the question.
It's crazy because it has been driving a lot of people into frenzy. You're just thinking, you know what, I'll just keep my money. But I said, but if you still keep your money, depreciation is inflation is a thief. It's a silent thief. One of the thieves.
It won't tell you that it's actually stealing the money.
Yeah, it will tell you. So it's a silent taxation. That's what I call that. Yeah, that's what I call inflation. I call it a silent taxation. All right. So you did very well on that. And I just hope that the government just sits back and begins.
Yes, we're just appealing to the government. Yes, let them, as much as possible, even if it's going to go to developers.
Yes.
Let it be like a price cap. Yeah. So first, the documentation process should not be too cumbersome that the developer will have to spend so much, right? Because I understand from developers' standpoint too.
Of course,
they will spend so much to get it, so they have to
spend so much on the project.
You understand? So if the government can make it less cumbersome, right, less expensive, so that the developer can now also sell it to the public, so that we know that, okay, eventually the public is getting it.
Yeah.
So we can see that, okay, it's actually for their interest. That is at the end of the day, not for the interest of
some selected few.
Very few number that can afford 100 million naira property, 50 million naira property. Most people can't.
It's crazy. It's crazy.
And we are all Nigerians.
We need. It's all right. So we'll talk about. Let's talk about the irregularities in government policies. And by irregularities, I mean that you might buy somewhere today and it has this title. You come back there next month or a year, and the government has already placed something else on it, maybe made it committed or stuff like that, without no notice, without no nothing. And I think early this month, I received a call saying, oh, some of those areas where you sell there, some of those areas they have not been committed. I was like, how is it possible that it's committed? So I had to reach out to the surveyor who now told me no, that those areas are not committed, that those areas are still good. I was like, so how does it really happen? Because people spend a lot of money to go and get a survey. And I'm not talking about 1 acre or 2 acres. I'm talking about 150 acres, 200 acres, 300 acres and the likes like that. And after they spend all this money doing the registered survey, the red copy or the red copy as people like to call it, you come tomorrow and just put a committed title on that. How does it work? How does it increase confidence in enabling the masses to invest in property business here in Lagos?
Okay, so first, the fact is, anybody that is buying any property in Lagos or any part of the country, you should be committed to doing your title up to CFO,
Okay.
right? So if today you have maybe it's freehold or it has a gazette, don't stay at that. Get a CFO because government does not, they are not very quick at revoking CFO because they know they have to pay compensation.
Okay.
But for gazette, they can do it and nobody will ask them. You understand?
Yeah.
Normally, it shouldn't be like that.
Yeah,
That
that's
you
that's
just
what I wanted to ask.
revoke
Why do you just come and
gazette. You
revoke it?
understand?
Yeah.
Just like that. But they know that most likely they will not bear too much in terms of financial, right? But if they revoke CFO, automatically the law says that they have to compensate. In fact, there's an office that is in charge of that, of revocation, compensation, and all that when it comes to all those titles. So, my first advice is that if you buy any property in Lagos or any part of Nigeria, go and do what you need to do in terms of perfecting your title. Now, why is that happening? We cannot say because politics has also entered the economic.
It's crazy. I think that's happened a lot.
Land is economic,
Yes,
but then
economic.
the political powers has also entered into land. So you now see a lot of uncertainties coming. So today this place is this, tomorrow it may be something else. Somebody was
So
also
it's no
sharing,
longer in trust.
a very popular developer was sharing a particular land that they bought, I think around November. If I tell you, it's a very popular person. They bought in November, checked it, and it was okay. I think around February they wanted to sell, right? They got land information. That's
Yes.
from Alausa,
Alausa, yeah.
right? And they saw that okay, the land is free. It's okay. Right? They got to, I think around February they wanted to sell, and so they said, "I'll go with confidence. Now go and check.
Okay, I watched that. I watched that
Go,
story.
go
I know the
and check
person now.
the."
I know the person. Yeah.
And the person came back and said the land is, the same government gave the person another paper. Say the land is, what's happening?
Imagine that.
Right? So these things change, and it's still the same power of the Land Use Act that
Yeah.
the government can hold the land in trust. But is that in trust that is the
The trust
problem
is
that
questioned.
the government is
Yeah.
not living up
It's
to?
not living up to
But they
that
can
standard.
actually hold it and they can decide to change. In fact, that's why even with the CFO, they can revoke it. The only thing is that they will compensate you. But then the government has been doing well in terms of compensation, at least from the information I've gathered.
Yeah.
Even when they revoke it, you have land on it, you have houses on it. They will value it, and you can even get something more that you can go and buy in another place, especially when they need it for
Public
government project,
interest.
and they cannot but put it there, right?
Okay.
So that house has to go, but then they will compensate you. So just look at it from the two sides. Yes, government may not be doing the right thing in terms of just changing those things
Yeah.
anyhow, right? And when we say government, it's still people. It's still
Yeah,
people.
but now there's some special powers that make them insulated from the
You
suffering of
understand?
the
It's still
masses.
people because when you say government, most time we may be thinking the governor. But I want to tell you that there are some other people there too that may be doing some of these things, right?
Yeah.
Which we are not
You
even privy
play
of, but
games
we
with
only
it, and
know
yeah, the
about
government may
one
not be
man,
aware.
the number one person
The
in the
figurehead.
state, right?
Yeah.
You understand? So these things have to be checked
Yeah.
such that there will be that level of certainty
Yeah.
that okay, if I buy this place in the next 10 years, it will still be like this.
That's what people want.
You understand?
That's what
Right?
people want.
But then, since you are in this kind of atmosphere, in this kind of climate, you have to just plan for it. So if when you buy it, go and do your survey. When your survey comes out, proceed, and start doing your
Perfecting
title
the
so that
title.
once you perfect it, you have a good title. Government is going to do anything. Government is not quick to just go to an area and they see that there are a lot of stuff and want to revoke. They would rather avoid it. They
Oh
rather
yeah.
avoid it because they know that you've come to them, you've paid money to
Yeah.
get the title, so they will not just like to revoke. And of course, the law also says that if you revoke it, you have to, anything the person has put there, even if there is just farm, all those crops, the value of those crops,
You have to give the
you
person
have
the
to
money.
give the person.
Awesome, awesome. Well, I still feel challenged, but
What are we going
at
to
least
do?
we'll just make do with.
Like what somebody
Yeah.
said that you can't fight the government.
Mm.
Because even when you finish fighting and you get judgment, Who will enforce the judgment for you?
You see the
It's
it made some set of people
yeah,
too
too
powerful. But
powerful. Yeah,
it's awesome.
too powerful.
We're moving, and we feel that as we move along, the corridors of life, certain things will change. It will change. So
Mhm.
now, yeah, you said something, and I think it also entered the next question. So what do you say to people now who buy property? Let's say, I sell level entry properties. Good for value investing. You get it at a very affordable rate and
Mhm.
get out at mid level where you
Mhm.
make a lot of money. And some people say, oh, must I buy it and it's under acquisition? I've done my survey. I just want to stop there. You said something about perfecting a title.
Mhm.
So I want you to emphasize more on the importance of perfecting your title, just briefly.
Okay, so briefly, perfection of title means that you have registered your title with the government. So you now have a title that can be verified at the land registry. But if you just buy from Monile or you buy from a real estate company and that title has not been perfected, there is no evidence that you bought the land at the land registry. So the government can decide to do anything they want. They'll
Oh,
just
really?
check and they'll just check and see that, oh, this area, nothing is going on here. Even if there are people that have built there, they look at it and say, okay, nothing is going on here. Okay, it's under acquisition, it's our land.
Mm,
You understand?
yeah.
So we can still do something about it. They can decide to give another person government allocation in that place. Yes, somebody reached out to me. She bought, I think, about 1 acre
Mm-hmm.
in one of these places that a developer has now taken over now.
Yes.
Right? She bought it from Monile, but she didn't do anything about it. Although
Wow.
the title was also bad. So the government had, of course,
All moral grounds.
the yes, moral right to take it back.
Wow.
Right? So that's why you just need to proceed. Just proceed. Don't stay there. Don't stay there. And doing title is about starting. Once you start, little by little, it's not one day that they will say go and bring these
Everything.
millions of naira. No.
Yeah.
At
Okay.
every stage, you keep paying what you need to pay until you finish. And once you are done, you're fine. And it also adds value to the land.
True.
So it's an investment. When you buy land as an entry level person and you invest in title, it's an investment. You can't sell it at the same amount
Yeah.
that the person beside you is selling, his or her own. So that's just it.
Oh, that's awesome. So can you run us through like some basic steps for somebody who buys from an entry level to like third to perfection for somebody who wants to know, oh, if I buy this property today, what do I need to do?
So it now depends on the title that you have currently. So when you chart it, some may have acquisition.
Let's start with acquisition,
Yes,
which is like 50%
50%.
safer.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So if it's acquisition, preferably a global acquisition where it's not committed for a particular project, right?
Yeah.
So the first thing is first go and do your survey at least.
One.
You understand? Once you do your survey, you do your deed.
Yeah.
I always advise people do your survey first before you do deed.
Okay.
But most people, because they don't have money for survey, you say let me quickly do deed.
Yeah.
So what
Take
I
ownership.
usually,
Yeah.
yes, take on at least let them sign that they've
Yes.
sold it.
Sold it.
So because survey does not, this is like
I mean, and expose it.
survey does not show ownership,
Yeah. Somebody doesn't show ownership.
but a
Yeah.
lot of people don't know.
Yeah.
They just feel that, oh, when I have survey, I have survey. Where is the deed? It is deed that shows ownership, but deed alone too does not show ownership, because if you see deed and without survey to show the specific place,
Yeah.
then your ownership is not complete. You are just telling me uh, Admiralty Way, Lekki 48 or so number. Tomorrow they can pull off that number.
Wow.
And there are a lot of places where you don't even have number. All these emerging areas, developing areas.
Yeah.
We just say it's K2 Ekpe. K2 Ekpe is broad, a lot of acres. So where is your own?
Yeah.
It is the survey that will show it.
Yeah.
So don't go and do survey alone and not do deed. Don't do deed alone without survey. But some people don't have the money to do survey at some point. So what I usually do for them is, okay, when they now do the survey, I will incorporate the details of the survey into the deed, and then we'll reprint it and then give to the person. Right?
Okay.
That's of course way of helping people who may not be able to afford the two documents at the same time.
Nice.
So once you do your deed survey, you do your deed,
Yeah.
right? And if you have your deed, get the family receipt preferably.
Okay.
You understand? So once you get the family receipts, and that's why I always like to deal with developers that are committed to title,
Yeah.
so that the subscribers will not now need to go and jump the developer and go to
Go
the
to the
family
family.
and start signing deed,
Mm.
because Lagos State will only recognize families.
Oh, really?
Developers are not native owners now.
Of course, yes.
So they want to go to the roots. If they want to give you CFO, they want you to provide the root of title, which is the family.
Family.
You understand? So the head of family must sign, the secretary and a member
So
at
that deed
least.
is
You
important,
understand?
very
Right.
powerful.
It's very important. So once you have that, then you can go ahead. So once you have that, that's why. So if you are buying from straight from family, then that receipt will be part of it.
True.
Right. But if you're buying from a developer, the developer will do title for everybody,
Yes.
you know,
Yeah.
together.
Together.
So once you have all of those documents, then the next thing is to go and do your land information.
Mm-hmm.
The land information will now show what your land is. Now they will tell you whether it is zoned as urban area or rural area.
Okay.
They will tell you whether it's under acquisition
Mm-hmm.
or it is free from acquisition. One of my clients bought land at Ekpe. It was free, so they wrote it there, free from government acquisition
But
revocation
did the
scheme.
survey show that already when they went
The when you lodge the
for
survey,
chatting? Yeah.
yes, when you, of course the chatting showed before we pay. Before that was why we went for the properties where
So
it
you're
was
not going
free.
for land information again.
No,
I
no,
start
that
showing.
land information is when you want to now start. But the first thing is to check
Yes.
that okay, chatting it is okay, right? The next thing is okay. Once you get your survey,
Yeah.
when you lodge the survey, you get the report.
Yeah.
It will show that okay, this is your name, this is the coordinate, then this is the remark. The remark will show that it is free from acquisition.
Yeah.
So that you now go and get the land information from the Surveyor General's office. Once you get that, of course, all these stages is your lawyer that will help you do all of that.
Oh, okay.
You understand? But I'm just trying to run you through. Once you get the land information, it will now show the status of the land and whether you can proceed to
Or
get
not.
title. If the land has issues, they will just tell you there.
Okay.
You will see there that you can't proceed
Proceed.
to get title. You
Okay.
understand? So once you do that, then all other filings, your documents, you put all of them together, the locational sketch and all that, and then you
And
file it. So once you file it, that is when follow up now starts.
okay.
That's why you need somebody who is dedicated to it, right? My clients own, I usually just
Back to back.
back to back follow up, right? Just to make sure that it was faster. At least now we've been able to pay
Within how many months?
within like 4 5 months. We've paid for the assessment, and some take longer than that. It's up to even 4 5 months. I think around 5 months. We started around August. By November, we paid for the assessment. So we're just waiting for all the confirmations. Once all the confirmations have been done, proceed to
CFO.
CFO, signing. So that's just it. So my advice is that generally, when you buy, don't stay at that.
Okay.
Start one step at a time, right? And before you know, you get to CFO stage and you have your CFO.
Wow. Wow. All right. All right. All right. So we're coming to the end gradually, or we are at the end now of this podcast. So I'll leave it to you. What are your top 3 or 4 advice or 2 advice for people coming into the industry, maybe still skeptical about investing in real estate, and that's for people who are just starting out and are still skeptical. Oh, should I do Lagos? Should I not do Lagos? Should I do real estate or should I do other things? That's number one. And number two is, for people who are already in the industry and just feel that, oh, I've bought 1 acre here and stuff, I should just stop like that. What do you have to tell them? Just parting words.
Okay, so if you are as an investor, the first thing you need to understand is real estate is an investment, and if you call it an investment, there are some measures of risk attached to it. So, and when you know there is a risk, there's what we call ameliorating risk. That means trying to at least push it down
Yes.
a bit, right? So the first thing is know the status. When you know the status, you know that okay, this is the status.
Yeah.
This is what I need to do. Right? Don't just buy. A lot of people in Lagos, you may even be watching and you don't even know the status of the house, of the land on which your house is, right?
True.
That's too bad. I was speaking to someone, I was like, I don't know the status of my land though. I said, okay, don't worry, I will send my surveyor to you, let him help you check.
Yeah.
Right? At least know what is there. Then you can plan for it. So if you're just coming in, make sure you know the status, right? And of course, talk to somebody that knows. doctor of properties here, right? don't
Your
don't
go-to.
just say you want to go and buy properties.
Yeah.
And when you want to buy properties, people are very quick to ask people that are very close to them. But the
True.
question is, do those people know
No, about
about the industry?
true.
Right? There are certain properties that if you want to buy, I'll tell you certain things that you may need to pay in the future. So start putting it in negotiation now
Okay.
when you are buying.
Yeah.
So if I know that, okay, you are buying from somebody and this person has not done title, I'll tell you, see, this person, even if he gives you deed, you can't take the deed to allow sir. You still need to go to their money.
Mm-hmm.
So put it into negotiation now.
Negotiation.
Yeah, see, guy, you will follow me to the family to sign.
Yes, to sign.
You
Exactly.
understand?
Yeah.
And of course, if they are going to collect money, maybe we'll share it. Or even if you are going to pay, but let him lead the way.
Yes.
Not that after buying, the guy will
Everybody
just
would also go away. Nah,
and you
nah.
now have to face it yourself. So
Yeah.
that's just it. But if you are coming into the industry, real estate in Lagos is very profitable. It's very obvious.
True. True.
It's very obvious. It's not something that people told me. It's something that I've seen.
Oh no. I've seen
Within,
countless.
well, I can't even,
Countless.
I've
I
lost
can't.
count.
I
You
can't.
understand? I've
Yeah.
lost count. I can't begin to say some figures there because you'll be amazed. You understand?
Yeah.
Like, so that's just imagine
Well,
somebody
we have seen things.
buying property for 72,000
Yeah.
and you want to sell it for 30 million
We have seen
after
we have
years
seen things.
that he has even made cash flow from that particular property.
Mm.
You understand? So there are a lot of things. My friend bought a pair, years ago. In 2 years, he made his money. You
Mm.
understand? So different things. And Ekpe was even at not even now.
Yeah.
That's like 2 years ago that
Yeah.
he sold this. So what of now?
Yeah.
What of the next 10 years or 15 years? So don't overthink it and begin to say, okay, you don't want to invest in Lagos. Yeah. Just count your costs, look at the risk, and look at what you need to do.
Yeah.
Right? And for those who have invested already, don't buy 1 acre. Buy in acres, right? Because number one, you need to also diversify when you're buying.
True.
So buy in different places. You understand? Buy in different locations. Even if you are buying Ekpe, buy in different locations within Ekpe. If you are buying in Bejileki, buy in different locations within Bejileki. So that way you have diversified your investment. And of course, today we may say, okay, speculate that this area will be like this. Tomorrow another area that you don't even think of will just jump up. I remember at a point it was Igbola. Igbola was like the hot cake
Yeah,
in
everybody
Ekpe.
was going to Ebola, Ebola,
But
Ebola.
then K2 just kicked off. Oh, boom, everybody K2, 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 K2. So it's like that. It
Yeah,
keeps
true.
moving and moving and all that. So when you want to buy, don't buy in bits, buy in acres, right?
Yeah.
Buy as much as you, because I was still speaking to somebody today and I was like, my one plot that I bought in Ekpe, I wish I bought more.
Mm.
Like if he had bought two, by now he wants to sell half out of the one plot. But like, I said no,
Spoiling
don't
everything.
sell now.
Yeah.
Still leave it. Even if you are going to sell, just leave
Just
it.
leave it.
Right? Because that land tomorrow
Mm.
is something else. So I was not like, I wish I bought like two plots. That now I would have just sold it and then use it to do what I want to do.
Mm.
So that's just it. So if you have bought, buy more. If you have not bought, come and buy.
Come on by. Come on by. All right.
That's just
Whoa.
it.
Yeah. And this brings us to the end of yet another exciting podcast here at the Doctor's Lab with yours truly, Barrister Samuel Tiamiyu. So how can people get access to you? They would like to know you. They would like to.
Okay. So on all social media, I'm Samuel Tiamiyu, or you can search First Class Property Lawyer. Any of the two. Samuel Tiamiyu, First Class Property Lawyer on Facebook, Instagram, LinkedIn, uh, all the social media.
All right, all the social media, Samuel Tiamiyu. Let's check him on all social media as he has already explained. All right, ladies and gentlemen, thank you very, very, very much. If you found this very exciting and helpful to you, please do well to subscribe, share this content, and follow us. Give us a like, give us a thumbs up, because this will encourage us to create, more educating podcasts like this. So till we come your way next time, remember, as we always say it here at the Doctor's Lab, see you on the investment side of life, and stay GD. Bye-bye.